So, Namaskar everyone, welcome to Honest Astrologer, and today's podcast is going to be the most special podcast. This is with my personal hero, with my favorite astrologer, with my role model, somebody I have absolutely looked up to, and somebody who answered a lot of my questions. And I was a thinker from childhood and I started learning astrology as a child, but there were questions which had no answers. Something which was just traditional nonsense passed over from one generation to other generation. Then comes a man and he says, "Aisa nahi hai, aisa hai." This is the way, and you can actually see that happens in reality. So I was like, this man gets it. Parash Trivedi, the man, the legend himself. So Parash sir, what an honor, what a blessing. I'm so happy I'm getting goosebumps. Welcome sir, the channel is yours.
No, it is a pleasure to be here in this podcast and maybe clarify some things which I might want to have some clarity on, want some clarity on. So it's a pleasure to do so.
Sir.
And it's quite a long introduction you gave. I mean, it's a thing that more people should go and find out the actual truth of things rather than just believing. Because a lot of things which are being passed down are distorted this time and age. So the questioning them and correcting them is a process which everyone should be involved in. Yes.
So we'll start with the first question.
Yes.
So for those who don't know, Parash comes from IIT Delhi. And this is typically a path which takes you to scientific careers or corporate careers. What made you get into Vedic wisdom, astrology, ancient living?
Yes, the thing is, like, if you think about it, like the engineering aspect of it, it's a technical thing, so technology is about understanding the universe and how nature functions and utilizing that's technology, right? So Jyotish is pretty much a universal technology only. It's like universal engineering, understanding how the universe functions for human beings, for the human life on Earth. And so for me, it was another technical subject. I just took it in that same sort of way of going about things, technical engineering, same. So that was my approach. And I started reading some books on it, and they weren't so technical, and they didn't have this kind of approach to it. So I thought, since it's a actual universal thing, then universal things are all coherently organized. There's organization in the universe. So understanding that organization would mean that the science should be more technical, like the whole thing. And so that was my approach, and that's what got me into it. And the Vedic one had the technical aspects, but they were not missing from the modern interpretations of it. So that was the start of the journey, basically. Yeah.
Great. So, sir, before you came on the scene, there was very little known about Nakshatras. I am a second generation astrologer.
Yeah.
But Nakshatras was something we just knew the names about.
Yes.
And after you came on scene, there are so many books, there are training courses, there are whatnot. But the man who started this, how did he find out? How did you get this knowledge which was nowhere?
Yeah, the thing was, in Brahmashastra or Horashastra also, if you look, the names are there. So I also started with those same spot in Brahmashastra where the names are mentioned. So the thing is that after that, I thought, like, the only way we can know about this is sadhana. It's another technical way you work on yourself internally. You open your, if your third eye opens, and then you get that sort of intuitive clarity. And then the second thing is observation. Moon transits through one every day. So combining both things, sadhana and observation, I would say that was the modus operandi for coming to know. And I knew that, like, Rashi level was a level where there are some things it's useful as a skeleton, but it's not where the things are. So then the next level is Nakshatras. So then I went into that level, and then after that I thought, like, okay, then you have 4 divisions, the padas, so that is another technical layer below. And then you can have 4 more divisions of that, then that's another technical layer below. So you can keep on, so it keeps on becoming a technical science
Yeah.
in that way, where you're zooming in, basically.
Right.
You're zooming in, zoom in, basically. And that's how it should be any technical science, where you come to know the reality of things, so that was the again a process, since the I had a technical inclination
Background.
already.
Yeah. No wonder
And
you were from
so
IIT.
then I knew I had to approach it in that. I couldn't approach it in the way with, which had been happening for the last 100, 200 years, or maybe even 1,000 years now in India. Like, so that was the thing,
Okay.
nakshatras. Yeah.
So coming to nakshatras, you are the master of the science. Whenever you hear the word nakshatra, the word Gandamool is often thrown around and people get
Yeah.
scared, especially when a new child is born. So
Yeah.
I would request you to demystify the concept of Gandamool and suggest
Yeah.
some remedies which are there because people are being blackmailed.
Okay,
So
I
please.
get it. I mean, the thing is with Gandamool is, as you know, these only happen when water signs are meeting the fire
Fire
signs,
signs,
right? Like at the intersection of water and fire. Now, which are sort of considered opposite elements, like water and fire. Okay, so whenever, like if you boil water, for example, like you heat it up, like you get steam, right? Now, steam is used for cooking, can be used for cooking. You can cook rice, all kinds of things are cooked with steam. You can use it for producing electricity, turbines. Okay. So my point is, it is just a steam producing area. Now, when steam is being produced, then use it. Whosoever has those energies, grahas, they have to utilize them, the steam, in whatever professions, whatever things require that kind of approach, effort. That's all. That's the remedy. There is no other. It's just energy. It's not a negative energy. Steam is not negative energy,
Yeah.
right?
So,
I mean, yes, like evaporation, cloud making, all of that. It's not a negative energy. It's just utilizing. If you don't utilize it, for example, in a pressure cooker, the steam builds up, the pressure cooker explodes. Yes, so the only remedy is keep making sure that you're using steam properly, that things are working, everything is working in your life. In that way, you're doing with the meditation, you're having a work which will help you utilize your steam in some creative, proactive way. That's there's no negativity to it, until somebody creates something for themselves. There is basically, so so we have demystified it. It's just steam, like it's not.
so
Yeah.
just a quick question on that. Let's say a
Yeah.
child is born and he is born on a Gandamool nakshatra.
Yeah.
And so, what do we tell the parents what to do with the child? Should they push him into sports? Should they let him express himself? What?
Yeah. I mean, they might be more active in
Mm-hmm.
that way. Then activity is more important.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a little bit of hyperactivity, but that's also okay.
Okay.
There's no problem either way. In only thing, it should not bottle up.
Right.
And yeah, don't do this or that thing. If you suppress the lid too much in steam, it blows.
So you give
And
them an
that is the
outlet.
only, yeah, so that is the only
Okay.
actual issue with that. There's no other that thing. I mean, for example, if it's in a nakshatra, like it'll be some nakshatra, and then it'll have a lord, and then lord would have different kind of placements and different kind of charts. So it'll be different for everybody. It's not the same nakshatra will be like Jyeshta will be same for everyone.
Right. Right.
That depends on Mercury's placements, and wherever the placement is, that's where the steam will be utilized,
Floats. Okay.
of the nakshatra lord. So, so in that
Correct.
direction. So
Correct.
that's
Correct.
there is no other
Cut and
issue
dry
at
with
all.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
talking of Gandamool nakshatra, there is one which scares me. That
yeah,
is Ashlesha. And
yeah,
I often say Ashlesha is Scorpio masquerading in Cancer.
yes,
The
yeah,
kind of intensity Ashlesha gave, and I saw one of your interviews and I tried that. For
yeah,
3 months, I tracked moon every day. And
yeah,
I have a Cancer moon, Pushya Nakshatra.
yeah.
So whenever moon would go through Ashlesha, something would go wrong with me. So then
Yeah.
I wanted to see what would be, why is it, and I have seen Ashlesha moon people suffer a lot. Very intense lives, very intense emotions. So what would be a right way and some remedy to manage this nakshatra? Because it scares me every month.
Yes. The thing with the Ashlesha is very simple. I mean, it's like moon at the Rashi level and Mercury at the Nakshatra level. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now what do we understand by that? What is Mercury? It's intellect. Okay. And moon is mind.
Emotion. Okay.
Okay. So now there's a battle between the two, mind and intellect. Okay. Mind will say something, intellect will say something. Okay. Now the point here is the intellect should be the one which should be taking the rein
Mm-hmm.
of the horses, the
Right.
mind's horses. So if the mind is getting too much of its own way, then this nakshatra creates problem.
Okay.
If the intelligence, the vivek, buddhi, which is called in Sanskrit, is taking the precedence, then it'll not. Okay, so everything should be done in a non-emotional manner more and more like a mercurial manner
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
nakshatra. It's a demand of that nakshatra. Okay, it's a demand, and Mercury should be the primary thing here, not
Right.
moon.
Right. And
Okay,
being in
that
Cancer, moon becomes very powerful
yeah.
and
So
tries
that's
to
the
overpower Mercury.
yeah that's the issue here. So the Mercury part, the buddhi vivek to be on top
Right.
of the mind is the work. If a being does that, then this nakshatra works fine. If in that let's say the rath moves forward
Right.
well, if the reins of the mind's horses are controlled by the charioteer of called buddhi,
Right.
that is the way. Otherwise, it goes in all directions and it creates chaos, and
Oh,
it just
yes.
will
Oh,
be a
yes.
whirlpool of
Right.
uh,
So,
uh,
if someone like me who suffers every day that moon goes to Ashlesha, what should they do?
yeah, they should like use more mercurial that thing to solve anything.
Okay.
Not to get emotional about it. The
Right.
emotions have to be kept out, and the clear intelligence, buddhi, vivek has to be applied, and speech has to be like that also,
Right.
you know,
Right.
in dealing with any situation
Very,
which
very good
arises.
point. I understand how much wisdom this has. Now, those who understand it can
Yes,
understand it. Those who
yes,
cannot,
yes, yes,
leave it to them. Okay, now people often, after completing their IITs, they go to New York and they go to Tokyo and they go to London. You went to
yes,
live with the Hopi native tribe.
yes.
Why and what did you learn from them about spirituality,
Okay.
astrology, and things like that?
Okay, the thing is, since I was not going to do any kind of job and corporate job or anything like that, I had made up my mind already, and I got a chance, to deal with the some tribe in US, which was still having more connection with nature, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and that is the essence of all Vedic knowledge, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Veds are basically about the five elements. If you
Yes.
look at the Veds, they are mostly about the five elements, and which are called Panch Mahabhut, the Devta, Panch Dev. So these people were still trying to maintain that, and it was the last generation out
Oh,
there also, which
okay.
was trying to maintain that, and they because the other generation now, the future generations are still more Americanized, and they are in the modern
Industrial.
swing of
Correct.
things. So, and when I went there, I just found out that there are similarities with Vedic, so which made me understand that the whole earth at one point was Vedic. If
Right.
the Native Americans in US were like that, the native tribes in South America or Africa or wherever, Europe, the knowledge, Nordic knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
everything,
Yes.
Greco-Roman, anything is Vedic knowledge in different forms. So for me, it was a matter of that everything on earth had a similar system
Mm-hmm.
and a similar thing and similar sort of connection with nature, and in last few thousand years, since the organized religions have taken over,
Yeah.
So all of that has gone out the window, and they call it paganism now. They have different words for it, what the Hopi practice and everything. And so it was made to look like a bad thing, something negative or something useless, or so for me it was just a uh, reinforcement that connectivity is there, and we can bring that connectivity back at some point, all around the earth. So it was that kind of a journey for me, and you have to start somewhere in the world, and I started there. So it's like, because after university you have to do something, and this is something which was more in the lines of what I wanted to do. So that, because I mean, that way, there's a security in like getting jobs, and and getting fixed monthly income and all of that. But a lot of people are doing that, and it's good if it works for them. For me, I thought there has to be something more
It
than
was your summer
that.
internship.
Yes, 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 yes. It's like something more, and they were and that was the beginning of internet through 97 and stuff, where I could first talk to them, and I got that opportunity. I got the invitation and everything. So it was good utilization of the new technology as well. So such things were possible, and started being possible from that time. And so whatever I learned at that time, the great purification and all of that, uh, is the same which has become Yug Parivartan now.
It is. Look at the internet. I got to talk to you. How many people would
Yes,
have done
yes,
that?
yes. So those concepts are still holding, and things are still going in that direction from 98 to 2025, 27 years now. But things are moving in that direction. What was prophesized and what was talked about in that time. Yeah.
Parash, you are an awakened being. You have managed to rise your Kundalini, and you have all this knowledge which we can only imagine. How can a normal person try to awaken his Kundalini? Because there are a lot of horror stories, there are a lot of legends. I haven't met many people with an awakened Kundalini. So, could you just guide us about this?
The whole point actually is not to try and awaken Kundalini or anything like that. The whole point is to actually just follow basic practices, which I call meditation, which come under meditation now. I call it try check. It's on my website, it's on my videos. People can see that. Try check, which is like, the centering in posture, speech, and face, and then connection with nature, grounding, connection with earth, having a gratitude element to earth, to the elements, most important, and you just practice that. Once you do, that's called doing the right thing as a human being. What I call doing the right thing. Once you're doing the right thing as a human being, whatever result happens after that, that's good. If Kundalini happens, good. If something else happens, whatever happens will be for the good and evolution of yours. That depends on what are your practices. Like Kundalini will depend on a lot of practices from past lives and how much you're done. And so there are a lot of factors for that. But I'm just saying that as long as a person does that, whatever they have to do on this earth, and whatever is their role and their own evolution and their own dharma and karma, they can do properly. So which I call basics, human basics. The try check, the grounding, the gratitude to the elements. This is a basic for any human being, which is born on earth. So people should try and do the right thing, the correct thing, the human thing, and not have this kind of goal that I have to raise. Problems happen when people are trying to force these kind of issues without actually having a foundation. And the foundation actually is this connection with nature, this gratitude, and this centering. So I think in ancient gurukuls, where rishis and everyone taught, like these things were taught first, like from grade 1, 5, 6, you were sitting on the ground, you were having gratitude, you were centering, you were doing repetitions from the center of your mouth, which are called now mantras, and whatever, repeating your pure principles of the universe. So these are basics which human beings can do and create a foundation. Like, so then only rest, So by the time you're 18, 19, you should be ready for your dharma and karma in this world. So that's what the point was. Now, it's not possible right now because education is not that. So then whenever you start, that becomes your starting point, and then from there on you take it forward. So that's like I started at 17, 18 in my university, the same thing. So like whenever you start, it is the start now. That is the.
And how was the experience like? Did you just wake up something and you felt something moving and what?
No. That is obviously that's a physical sensation. All of that when it happens, it's everybody can know it. Like it's a very physically um, mutable thing. Like you can perceive it. It's not something just which is in the sukshma sharir, which you cannot feel in the stool body, which the stool sharir. So like it is very clear. But obviously, it's best to be fit as well for that, physically fit, to handle that kind of thing, which I had because I was interested in sports. So I played a lot of sports until that time. So there was a fitness element, to this, and which used to be the case in before as well. When I think in gurukuls and stuff, people were kept physically fit by various activities, and so that is an important point which people miss, about this. That is also necessary for it, because it takes endurance and stamina and things like that to handle that kind of thing. And again, I think the base, which is connected to earth, is very important. The base, you don't do electrical things without having the ground.
Right. You'll get a shock.
Yeah, and because the excess charge and all of that, like it's a technical issue, the whole thing, so so those parts are the most important first, which have gone out of the window in most of the people, so-called yogas and everything, that is, they're not very earth and element centric anymore, and nothing is. So without that, nothing is possible for a human being, really. There's no foundation actually. So that is the whole point, which is there in that things, people in LotusOcean can go to the meditations and go to my talks online, and I do tell about these things out there. So I made them public for a long time so that people can, utilize this.
LotusOcean is Parash's website. Please go check it out. Awesome content.
Yeah, but meditation anyone can do. Like anyone can start with the basic steps. The basics are same for everyone, and they're simple, and people should be able to do that. So
okay. So coming to the next question, sir. Top 3 do's and don'ts you would like to suggest to a spiritual seeker who is trying to make sense of the world. So, a seeker looks. So people with very strong spiritual yogas, they are looking for something, and nowadays it is an industry and a very exploitative industry.
Yes.
So
yes.
Some guidance from you for the spiritual seekers trying to make sense of the world.
Yes. Like first, that thing is, that understand that you have to take care of your body first. Number one. The number one dharma for a human being is to take care of their instrument for this lifetime, which is being given to do your actions. Okay, so you have to take care of that. Okay, and taking care of that, you will understand that you will have to connect with the elements. You'll have to connect with earth. You'll have to connect with air and water, and that which you do everything. And rather than connecting with chemicals, which mostly people are connecting with, so the most important thing is that, which I call number one. Number two is like you have to still do the responsibility in the world, like to survive in this world, you have to do different things, and be ready to do that, whatever is required for surviving in this world, whatever karma or action you have to do for that, so don't run away from that. Okay. Number one. Number two is that. Then comes number 3, your spiritual practice, which comes start from centering, and of the body, which is all practices are done by the body. So that's discipline of the body it's a yam niyam of the body, which is the spiritual practice. It's not something up in the air or something strange or some kind of astral travel or like NDE or that kind of thing, which I'm talking about here. I'm talking about because practically everything happens through the body here. So, so to do those meditations and stuff after you have done your 1 and 2. So that is the third aspects. These are the do's, you know. And don'ts are like do not miss these steps. That is, that's the don'ts. But you have to make sure, like, because a lot of people, once because what has happened in India is, okay, like, if you become more spiritual, like, people become sadhu, then they stop taking care of the body in different kind of ways. You're just letting yourself go, sort of situation, but that's not how things work, and by external things, just by putting rack on yourself or that kind of thing, even though rack is good for your body for exfoliation different times, but then you can have a bath, you can wash it off, but what I'm just saying, that like, stop looking for external factors on it. It's more of a like actual practice, what you eat, how you're eating it, what is your discipline in eating, all of that, that is the important things, so these are the bits which people should focus on first
And
in the very beginning.
so much pretension, so much outwardly show off is going on.
That's the point, like, and rishis and stuff actually know the thing, it's knowers of how things function, what is a human body machine and how it functions, in what way can it function best, how to utilize it the best, so they are more like technical beings, really, not this pseudo thing which has happened in the last few hundred years or maybe 1,000 years. Yeah, because again, it's lack of basics. The people are missing the basics. And the person is missing the basics. So, and there's nobody teaching basics anymore. It's not like there's no Gurukul system where some basics are being taught like that. And so when people try to go into these things and they go to the sadhu babas and whatever, and there is no such thing there even. Yeah, so they are also not doing the discipline in the way it should be done. And none of these beings are teaching any of that. So the whole, again, just like Jyotish, what happened in Jyotish, the same thing happens in that, like the reality of it, the technicality of it is missing. So that's what causes the confusion. It causes bewilderment. It causes the age of darkness. That's what darkness is. You don't know anything for sure. And there's no clarity. For human being, basic clarity, how to handle this body, because you're born with this body, how to handle this body, that basic clarity should be there. Without that, nothing else is possible, and we have to start from that level. We have to start from that very basic level, how to deal with the body, what is best for it, how to keep it, and how to utilize it. And from that, all spirituality happens. The Brahmand is only happy if you can use this body wisely, which has been given to you. And that is the test. That is the whole.
So, just a personal note, I have ensured that both my sons are fit. I am a big fat Punjabi man and I suffer because of it.
Yeah, and not just like, some people can eat more and be more like Bhim, and that's not a problem. That's not a disease per se, But the thing is, then they have to be for that particular task, as per the task, you can do that kind of diet, but then you still have to be able to utilize that diet. If you eat more, then how are you going to utilize it, and what are you going to do with it, and what amount of vyayam you will require for that. Like, so there is a discipline for different levels of diet and different kinds of diet, and there's a discipline associated, and that people should know automatically, depending on their own chart, and depending on their own nature, and depending on their own that thing, what suits me, and what should be that thing. And there are some basic rules, obviously, for everything. Like Ayurvedic rules, Vata, Kapha, in the chart that is there, and the balancing of the elements and all of that. So accordingly, diets change for different people as well. Some people can eat more salad, some people cannot. But, so it has to be that's where Jyotish helps again
Yes.
as a tool. So all of that is a very technical
It is.
know-how, which like Ayurveda along with Jyotish is
Right.
for keeping the human body system in
Right.
the right place. So
Okay.
so all of those sciences have to come back in a real technical way
Right.
and applied.
And create a whole.
Yeah, create a whole, like, yeah, that's the, yeah.
Okay. Sir, last question. There is this debate between destiny and free will, and there is this concept. And one of my clients sent me this. He said there are people who say that you can change anything through the trine in your chart 159 house. Can you explain this and how can you use this to navigate negative planetary periods?
Right. The thing is, um, the destiny and free will thing is like destiny. What people call destiny is the circumstance. What you're born into a certain family and what you are like and what you have, like what are the opportunities you have. Basically, circumstances. Basically, now after circumstances comes, free will work is like everyone has free time in a day. Everyone, after they do their basics and whatever, they have free time. Now, what do they do in that time? Who who decides that? You decide that. That's your free will. Within a circumstance, you have your chance to do what you want to do. That free time, that free will, what you call the free will. Some basic things are there. You have to eat, you have to do the right thing, and you have to take care of what. That's not a free will in a way, because you should do that. But people can still apply free will and not do that, not take the body. Okay, that's also another aspect of free will. Okay, so that is, because there's no chart position and condition which will make you sit in a meditation. It's your body. You will have to make it sit in the center pose, and there's nothing which is going to do that for you. Then, if I'm running dashas of 5 and 9, then only I can sit in meditation. if I'm not running those dashas, I cannot. That. So that's where you're using free will to get out of something.
Yes.
It's not the chart which is saying that. Chart is just creating an atmosphere and circumstance, and what which is like how much you get on this plane, or whatever you don't get, in terms of material things. That's all the thing is. But what are you doing by yourself while your body there's a lot of free will in that, actually. So that's where it is to be applied. Okay, the free will aspect is to be applied into, and changing is like you're not changing this life circumstance necessarily. For example, it's not like by doing something, and if your chart doesn't allow for let's say a lot of monetary gains, and you'll do something and you will have, that's not going to happen.
Right. Right.
So some things are fixed. There is a limit which is put on different things in your life by your birth chart.
Yes.
There is a ceiling. Let's say call it a ceiling, and then you can't undo that in just one lifetime's effort. That's not possible, but what you can do is actually evolve yourself and do the right actions so that your future lives and your future things are better. You can get out of the cycle of birth and death, or have better
life.
sanskar for future life. That is in your hands, but changing actual material things, it's not like if somebody works hard, then they'll become Ambani
Rich.
suddenly.
Doesn't happen.
This is not going to happen by anything you do out here. So that's where people have to understand that, and not try to change everything. Which, because you can, whatever limitations are there of the birth chart, you can still work within that. Right. That's enough for you to work for your evolution and for your raising your spirit. So 5 and 9 is for raising the spirit. Trying. It's not about getting something here. So I mean, it is and in terms of 5 and 9 also, in terms of the difference it can make is like if you're going by that, you can be more healthy, or like your body can stay more healthy than what your chart suggests. Or and which is again for doing your spiritual practice only. Why do you want health? Because that is the time which you have to, and depending on your level of health, whatever level of health you have, you can do the practice according to that. Universe will see like you're doing whatever is feasible for you, and you're putting in the 100% effort from your side for everything. That's what matters at the end, So that is the
Great,
yeah.
great. So
Yeah.
with this, we come to the end of this discussion. It has been
Yeah.
such a pleasure and one of the best days in my life. So to see you
Yes.
live, talk to you, sir. Request your
Yes.
blessings.
Yes.
And this is the first time that you have come, but I would request you not to make this the last time. So I'll bother
Yes.
you maybe once a year types, and if you would
Yes.
bless us with your
Yeah.
presence.
Yeah. The blessings of the universe are always there when people do the work from their side. Like they have to put it into application,
Right.
because the blessing should not become something where people think that I don't have to do the work and now blessing is there.
Right,
Okay, it's
right.
not about that. Blessing comes from the work.
Okay.
The
Good.
work is the blessing. The work you're putting in is the actual blessing. So that is the
Very, very
most,
profound. Very profound.
yeah.
Very profound.